Welcome to the ACEC New York webinar 2018 Engineering Excellence, Preparing to Win. Your speaker for today's program is Erich Arcement, PE, past chair, ACEC New York Engineering Excellence Awards Committee. Audiocast quality is subject to your equipment, available bandwidth and internet traffic. If you experience unsatisfactory audio quality, please use the telephone dial-in option provided in your confirmation and reminder emails. If you have dialed in, operator assistance is available by pressing #. To send a question or comment through the chat box, locate the little gray downward arrow at the lower right corner of the bottom of the chat window and select Moderators. Type in your question at the space at the bottom of the chat window and hit the Enter key. I will now turn the call over to Erich Arcement. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Erich Arcement, past chair of the ACEC New York Engineering Excellence Awards Committee, and I've been giving this webinar for a number of years now, so you've probably heard my voice before if you've been on this. So today I'll familiarize you or update you if you've done this before in the process of submitting your final entry to the Engineering Excellence Awards for 2018. And we'll be happy to answer any questions at the end. We'll open it up and you can just type in some questions in chat and we'll answer all of your questions. And I'll also note that if you have any questions after the webinar that you come up with as you're preparing your entries, you can feel free to email ACEC staff and we can reach out to you and give you any guidance you need. And the last thing I'll just add is they're doing construction downstairs under my floor, so if you hear any weird noises, that's what that is. They decided a good day to do that. So let's get started. So just the agenda, I'll touch on all the aspects of the program, including preliminary entries, judging, the role of the moderators, as well as take you step by step through the final entry materials. I'll also go over the levels of awards, how winners are notified, the gala, inviting public clients, and public relations. And as I said, I'll have some time at the end to answer questions. So this year we have the most number of entries we've ever had, which is 171 entries, which is a really good showing. They've all been processed into a database, so if you've entered, which I'm assuming you have since you're on this call, you should have all received instructions on how to submit your final entry materials, including the final checklist form and an FAQ. These documents are also available to download from the Engineering Excellence page on the website. And again, if you have any issues or you haven't gotten what you need, you can reach out to ACEC staff. Final entries are due September 20th. And they'll be accepted up to a week afterwards on September 27th, but if it's after September 20th, you'll have to pay a $100 late fee for the late entry. So the judging event is scheduled on October 25th at the Midtown Hilton in New York City. Judges are invited by ACEC New York, and they include military and government officials, ACEC national and international leadership, educators from colleges and universities, engineering departments, representatives from relevant press outlets, and leadership from other organizations dedicated to the built environment. Judges will receive the executive summary and images of the project that they will judge prior to the for judging prior to events, so they'll take a look at those things prior to the actual judging event. After listening to a moderator present the project, judges are asked to give a numerical score of 1 to 10 based on the criteria shown here on the screen. Judges are asked to base their score on the criteria and merits of each project and not compare projects to one another. So the judges are going to see a series of projects throughout the day. There's 5 or 6 judging rooms. Each one has 4 or 5 judges. So they all see, let's say, 20, 30 projects each or more. So they don't judge them against each other. They judge them on their own merits. And what's really important here is just take note of these 5 items which you'll have received in the documentation for the awards program. But these 5 criteria that are on the screen right now are the 5 criteria that in your write-ups are key to making sure you hit on these. As I'll get to a little bit later, the moderators who present your project, who are unbiased, not part of your project, but presenting them on your behalf, can only present what they're given. So if you don't give them enough information on these 5 different areas, then they can't do anything further they can't research your project, they can't give their own opinion on the project, they can only speak off of what they're given. So it's really important for you to make sure you hit on these 5 items so that the judges can fully score you based on understanding of each of these 5 items and how your project meets each of those items. So the moderator's role. The moderator is a professional engineer who volunteers their time to present the project to the panel of judges. Moderators usually present based on categories that they have experience in. Moderators receive all the written and visual material prior to the judging. So that's why we stress that your materials you submit are clear in addressing the judging criteria point by point. If your explanations are unclear, as I said, moderators won't be able to present your project properly. Moderators generally present 4 to 6 projects to review and present, so it's important for them to have clear information to present off of. Moderators are not associated with the project in any way. Many moderators have been filling this role for years and are quite skilled at it. Each room is staffed with a room captain. The room captain is also a volunteer and is in charge of the room, including keeping the moderators to time, collecting the score sheets, and managing the room. Room captains are supplied with the project information, and they can assist in answering questions for the moderator or judges. The Engineering Excellence Committee usually volunteers to be moderators and or room captains, but these roles are open to any member. If you're interested in being a moderator, contact ACEC New York, or if you think anyone in your firm would be interested. It's a great way to learn about the judging process and work on presentation skills. With such an exceptionally large volume of projects, we plan on having additional rooms for judging. So we're in greater need this year of moderators and room captains. So feel free to call or email ACEC New York staff to volunteer or receive more information. And so now I'm going to jump into what the different items are that need to be submitted. But as I just went through, the moderators are the people who are presenting your project. And so they have the executive summary that you're going to write. They're going to have the overall project description. They're going to have the slides that you have that are graphics of your project. And so as you're preparing all of that information, just keep in mind how you'll best make that information easy for a moderator to understand and to be able to present. So I look at it as pretty much putting together a presentation for someone else to give, as if you were in a shortlist presentation for an RFP you're responding to, where you want all of your materials to work really well together and to provide a really clear explanation of how you're responding to that RFP. So in this case, you're responding to those 5 areas that you're being judged on that each take a 20% of judging. So make sure that you're hitting on those and that you're giving a very clear description of how you hit on those, and make everything, the executive summary, the full write-up, and the slides that you provide all go really well together, so you're pretty much building a presentation for a moderator, and the moderator has all of the ammunition they need to best represent your project. And you may hear hammering right now, which is happening downstairs, so excuse me for that. Can't do anything about it. Okay, so final entry submission. So I'll go over the actual entry process. Remember, all entries must be submitted. These are flash drives in your files directly to the ACEC New York main office. It's required that 2 disks or folders be submitted, one with the full project, one with a copy of a photographic panel. This will assist our office greatly as we prepare entries for judging and for the gala. Both disks, file folders with the firm name, project name, and category. Detailed instructions on how to create, zip, and upload your project to WeTransfer.com have been emailed to all of the firms that submitted preliminary entries, and the instructions are also for download from the EEA page of the ACEC New York website. Remember to include your payment if you are mailing disks. If you are uploading your files, send a check separately to the ACEC New York office. If your firm has multiple entries, please submit just one check and note on the memo line Engineering Excellence. ACEC can't accept credit card payments for EEA. The final entry fee is $375 per project for a member and $525 per project for non-members. Payment before the submission deadline is encouraged but not required. However, keep in mind that projects with unpaid fees will not be considered for judging. So now we'll go through the contents that should make up your submission. Remember, the first disk or file should include all the items we are listing, while the second disk or folder includes only the panel. The first required item is the final entry form checklist. Make sure to complete this form after you've gathered all your materials so that you can make sure that you've included everything you have, because if a submission is incomplete, then it can't be judged. It needs to have everything that has to be included as part of that submission. The project name written on the form will be the official name of the project and must match the preliminary entry. The project name will appear exactly as you've written it on all marketing material, as well as on the plaques and in the video that's done for the actual ceremony at the gala. So it's really important that you determine now what you want the name of of the project to be, because that's what's going to flow through everything else associated with your project for the gala and for the awards. The category should be the same category you indicated on the preliminary entry form. If the firm decides to change the name of the category they need to contact ACEC New York directly. No name or category changes will be accepted after the final entry is received. All projects must also be accompanied by an endorsement letter from the client or on client letterhead. And historically, this letter has taken time to secure. Especially public clients are usually difficult to get a letter through, but all clients in general, it usually takes some time. So definitely we start working on that now versus waiting toward the end, because that might get in the way of you actually being able to move forward with your submission. The letter must be on client letterhead and submitted as an electronic copy. Projects cannot be advanced without the letter. A sample of what the letter should say is included in the final entry instructions. And many times letters are sent directly to the ACEC New York office as opposed to the firm's office. So if that occurs, staff from ACEC will reach out to the firm and just let you know that they've received that letter if it didn't go directly to you. So jumping into the specific aspects, so there's the project description. And this is really what the moderator uses to fully understand your project. So it's very important to make sure that, as I said earlier, all of those 5 aspects are clearly covered. And you might even want to just have headers for each of these 5 aspects. You can write it however you'd like to, but being very clear in terms of how your project meets each of these 5 aspects will be very helpful to the moderator, so they fully understand your project. The project description can be technical in nature, as it is reviewed by an engineer to communicate the unique qualities of the project to the judges. Entries can include text, graphics, or charts as needed. Make sure the descriptions cover all of the following: originality, future value to the profession, sustainability, complexity, and exceeding client needs. So those are the 5 judging criteria. So there's an executive summary, and if you've done this before, we've changed this a little bit, and it's really to address what I was just saying, which is now the exec summary is done more in an outline form, divided into the sections on the judging criteria. And so in the materials that were sent to you, there's an example of this. But basically, it's giving a summary of your project, so the opening paragraph or 2 can just be a general description of the project, and then basically an outline of how your project meets each of these 5 criteria, these 5 judging criteria. So it should point out what is unique about the project and why it's worthy of recognition. Be sure to highlight the innovations present in the project, elaborating on what was included in the project description, as these highlights will count greatly toward your final score. The summary should work together with the photos and entry panel, since it's what the judges will see on the screen as the moderator is presenting the project. And the other thing that will happen is that the executive summary is given to the judges in advance. So it should also be more in layman's terms. It shouldn't just be in technical nature, but something that if the judges want to peruse before they actually get the presentation given to them, that it's really easy for them to follow along. So there's also a PowerPoint presentation that will be used to present each project to the judges. The presentation should have 7 slides. It will be a title slide that includes the name of the project and category, 5 images on separate slides that describe your project or help to describe your project, and a final slide that shows the actual panel that you provided. Don't forget to include a Word document with captions for the images to be used by the moderator. No presentation should include any transitions, animations, preset timings, or slideshow sequencing. Just a reminder, this will be presented for judging, so no identifying information. It can't have your firm logo or your firm name on it. None of that should be on the slides, because this is supposed to be completely anonymous, so that if, for instance, a judge has knowledge of your firm or really likes your firm, works with your firm a lot, they don't know it's your firm, so that doesn't kind of skew the judging. Background should be plain white and should not include any sort of template, especially not one that incorporates the entering firm's logo. Slides should be standard size, not widescreen. Photos should be scaled down appropriately to fit the slides and PowerPoint presentation. To reduce file size, images should be inserted from the PowerPoint menu and not copied and pasted. And so finally, as I said before, just keep in mind, so if you imagine the moderator who's presenting your project to the judges will have your executive summary for it. They'll have your 1,500-word overall summary, which is really what they use for their information to present to the judges. And then they're going to have this 7-slide PowerPoint. So think about how, if you were presenting this yourself, you would want your write-up to work well with those 7 slides, because that's all that that the moderator has to go off of. And so making it as easy as possible for them to best present your slides and your project is the best way to do well in judging. So 5 color photos are used during the judging process to help tell the story of the project. The photos should coincide with the written material. Photos are included in the PowerPoint presentation and can be different from the panel images. A separate Word document should be included with captions for each photo, and the captions and images should be labeled accordingly. Note the size refers to the photos as they are on separate files. Photos should be submitted in the format requested. The size is approximate. Most digital cameras have an output approaching that size. However, we do not recommend the photos be much smaller, as they are used in a number of print and digital marketing pieces, both for the EEA program and for the association as a whole. Again, no reference to the firm name should be included on the photo, including logos on any personal vests or hats and images. In the past, whether on purpose or not, someone might have a picture of an engineer who's on a project site with the name of their firm emblazoned on their reflective vest or on their helmet, and so that will give away some information to the judges in terms of what company is submitting. So just keep that in mind. That's very important. So then the panel is essentially a presentation poster, which should summarize your project in a professional, eye-catching way. And in a minute, I'll show you an example of a panel that has won in the past for best panel. Details for how to prepare the photographic panel, including types of photos and font size specifications, are included in the instructions. The final panel will be printed in a 30 inch by 30 inch format. I don't think I had to clarify that it wasn't 30 feet, but anyway, 30 inch mat. The panel design should include a maximum of 6 photos. A background image doesn't count. Just to stress, the firm name again should only appear, in this case, should only appear in the title box in the bottom right hand corner, because that's obscured during the judging process when copies of the panel will be shown on the screen. So, and then later on at the gala when they're shown, when the actual panels are displayed, then the name is uncovered, of course. But just put it in the corner, because we don't want, again, during judging, when we show the panel and we obscure that corner where the name is, we don't want the name to be anywhere else. There should also be no headers or other captions on the presentation. Panel files should be saved as a separate file in a second zipped folder or on the second disk. The panel should also be included on the final slide of the presentation with the bottom right title block obscured, as I said. We also ask that a printed or PDF proof of your panel be included for office use. If you are sending CD-ROMs, include a printed copy. If you're uploading your files, include a PDF. So just to be clear, when you put that 7-slide PowerPoint on the last slide. Here's a recap of everything that should be included with your final entry. The panel, as a reminder, should be included in the first file and disk, and then also sent in a separate file and disk so we might easily print it. Also be sure to include a printed proof if you are mailing disks or a PDF you're uploading files. ACEC New York has contracted with a vendor to print all panels and ship them directly to the Hilton for display during the gala, and entrants can take their panel with them that evening if they are so inclined. Again, we want to stress that the best entries are those where the photos and panels work with the executive summary and project description to tell a story of the project. Less text and more pictures is best. Use the text allotment judiciously to tell the story of your project. Show, don't tell, why your project is award-worthy. An award is presented to the firm who submits the best panel. The winner receives a special plaque, and the panel is featured in the gala program. And so here's an example of one of those winning panels. It's the best panel from last year. It has minimal use of text, useful use of colorful, eye-catching photos and images, and it's clean, not cluttered. I'll just leave it up there for a second just to C. All right. And then if you have entered your project in the Studies, Research, and Consulting Engineering category, which is category A, you need to submit the supplemental report with the entry. So this should be submitted as a separate file on its own disk or on its own folder. So that's if you entered into category A. That's just specific to those projects that were entered in that category. So award levels and notifications. Every project receives an award based on the total points. The awards are based on the total points from the judges. The awards are presented as follows in descending order. Diamond is the highest, followed by platinum, gold, and silver. The Empire Award is awarded to the best product designed and built entirely within New York State. It is evaluated based on contributions to the economic health of an area, sustainability, and creativity. Diamond Award winners that fit the criteria are entered into the pool of winners, and the winner is decided by best overall score. So in summary, if you win a Diamond Award and your project was fully designed and built in New York State, then it will be in the running for the Empire Award, which isn't announced until the night of the event. All firms in contention for the award will be notified that they are in the running for the Empire Award. Notifications of your award level are sent via email to your awards liaison. As part of your entry fee, you'll receive 1 firm plaque and 1 client plaque. Diamond Award winners receive glass awards, which will be given on stage at the gala. Additional plaques and awards can be ordered. Diamond Award projects in each category will be advanced to the national competition, and very important to note, the national submission entry fee are the sole responsibility of the member firm. ACEC New York will not cover the national fee for finalists. So if you decide not to enter because you don't want to pay the fee or you're just not interested in entering national, please notify ACEC New York so that they know. The Best Panel Award also is given to the highest rated panel and is not tied to the award level of the project. So that's a separate award that's given based on how nicely your panel is put together, as I had discussed earlier. The gala itself will be held on April 7th, 2018 at the Midtown Hilton in New York City. It's a wonderful and exciting event with guests in formal attire enjoying live music and dancing. Prior to the dinner, a lavish cocktail reception will take place where the entry panels will be on display. And for people who win Diamond Awards, or for firms who win Diamond Awards, those are presented live on stage to the entering firm and to the client. Diamond Award recipients are also invited to attend an exclusive Empire reception, which happens before the overall main reception for the gala. The Platinum, Gold, and Silver products are honored via video. All products enter, and that's at the gala as well. All products entered are also listed in the program journal, and all award panels are displayed on the screen during dinner. Firms will have the opportunity to have their photos taken with their colleagues, clients, and entry panels in our special photo room. Also of note, a room block is currently available at the Hilton for April 7th under ACEC New York with a group rate of $269. So you can call the Hilton directly and mention ACEC New York to get that rate. So inviting clients. ACEC New York encourages you to invite your clients to celebrate with you at this event. However, there are some restrictions regarding public clients. New York State ethics law has allowed state and government officials to attend this event as it qualifies as a widely attended event. Each year, ACEC New York submits the event to the ethics department for review. A memo is sent to each firm asking if you want to invite a public client. The memo asks for the contact information of that main invitee. ACEC New York sends a formal invitation to the client and a guest on ACEC New York letterhead under the president's signature. The firm is not mentioned in the letter. ACEC New York follows up with each invitation and communicates back to the firm if the public employee that you invited has accepted or not. If they accepted, they are likely seated at your tables. Firms are not allowed to pay for public clients, and the cost is incurred by the association. Because ACEC New York is paying for the public client guests to attend, we ask that you use discretion in inviting public guests. Please note that a request for an invitation does not guarantee that that person will be seated at your table. Many firms will invite the same individuals. Many firms are doing work for the same public clients. Decisions on seating are based on a variety of factors, and ACEC New York has final oversight on all seating arrangements. In the event that different firms invite the same client, we'll work to make sure that the public agency guests are equitably distributed amongst the winners. ACEC New York will only invite New York public clients. Private clients are not subject to the same ethics guidelines as private clients are not subject to the same ethics guidelines as public clients, and firms are able to pay for tickets for their private clients. as in you do need to pay for the tickets for your private clients. That's not covered by ACEC New York. Public relations. Ads in the program journal are a great way to congratulate your design team. Consider taking out an ad in the program, one of which is placed at everyone's seat the night of the gala. After the gala, the program is placed on our website for viewing and shared to our full mailing list as well as via social media. Overall sponsorship of the event is available now. Sponsors are highlighted at every level of promotion of the program during the year, including the formal invite, the website, the program journal, emails, social media, etc. Sponsorship also supports the ACEC New York Scholarship Fund, with 2 scholarships being given that evening. We're looking to improve even on the great success we had in 2017. A full sponsorship guide is available on our website detailing the different levels. Please contact any Engineering Excellence Awards Committee member or ACEC New York staff with questions. I should also note if your sponsorship in at a certain level in advance, your sponsorship will also be listed on the invites in advance. A press release will be issued by ACEC New York the Monday after the gala. This release will contain a full list of all Diamond Awards as well as links to the Platinum, Gold, and Silver Awards on our website. Member firms can take advantage of the PR and marketing value by issuing their own press release. Firm press releases can be sent as soon as winners are notified, but we also recommend that firms share the ACEC New York official press release after the event. Firms are encouraged to send their own press release anytime after they are notified of their award level. Please refer to the program as the ACEC New York Engineering Excellence Awards Program. ACEC National has their own Engineering Excellence Awards, which is completely separate from New York, so it's just to be clear, the program is referred to as ACEC New York Engineering Excellence Awards. The gala will be live tweeted, and we encourage all participants to join the conversation that evening. Our hashtag is EEANY18, which is on the screen. Be sure to follow ACEC New York on Twitter to see highlights of the evening as well as program highlights throughout the year. So this wraps it up. Just a reminder, the webinar was recorded or is being recorded. So if you need to reference anything that I've mentioned today, it'll be uploaded on the ACEC New York YouTube channel. If you have any other questions, you can contact Erica at ACEC New York office. With, the phone number is on the screen there, and her email's on the screen. And I think in the chat, it's just been cut and pasted, so you can just cut and paste it out of there if you want to have that and keep it. So thank you all for participating. EEA really brings value to the members that you can't find anywhere else, so we're really excited that you've decided to be part of it, and we look forward to seeing all of the amazing project submissions this year. And with that, I will just open up to questions. If you have any questions, you can type it in the chat and we can answer them. And if you don't, that means we were very thorough. And it also means that if while you're filling out your applications, you should feel free to reach out to ACEC staff to ask questions. They're available to answer any questions you have in terms of your submission. So we'll wait a minute or two to see if there's any questions, because nothing's popping up on the chat. And if not, we'll wrap it up.
Eric, I have a few on hand I can see.
Oh, do you?
Mm-hmm. If I can go through them. So the first question was, could you repeat again about category matching the initial submission? And I can answer that question. When you submitted the preliminary application, you identified a project name and category for each project. If you are looking to change the category name or the project name or change the category of the project, we would need that in writing prior to your final submission, because we're going to really be looking for the final submission files to perfectly match what was submitted in the preliminary application. And if you are changing anything, we will want to update the preliminary entry database. The second question, is it okay to have client name and location info and executive summary and project description such as XYZ Airport? And that is fine to have the client name and location, as long as it doesn't give away your firm name. You know, if for some reason everyone in the industry knows that you were the only firm who worked on that project, that might make it too obvious, but I'll let you use judgment. For the PowerPoint, if you want to show before and after photo, can it be on the same slide, and does that count as one image or two? we would consider that one image. If possible, if you could use Photoshop or some kind of photo editing to build it into one file and insert it as one file image, that would be ideal. Because when we do send them to the moderators, we will send 5 image files, and I'll really be looking to count 5. And finally, is it okay to have client name? Please confirm that ACEC will only invite and pay for public New York State clients. The question is that ACEC will only invite and pay for public clients. That is correct. We do not pay for private. If you're asking specifically New York State clients, we can really only speak to the New York State guidelines. If your client is a public client for a different state, we would encourage you to reach out to that state and find out what their guidelines are, and if they can accept invitations from firms, or if they would need to work with us to get an invitation in writing from us. But we can deal with that on a case-to-case basis. I don't see any other questions on my end.
Yeah, I just found that tab for all the questions. I don't see any other ones either. So, okay, I think that wraps the session up then if there's no other questions. So again, everyone, thank you very much for joining us. Best of luck with your submissions, and we look forward to seeing them all. So everybody take care.
Thank you, Erich.
This concludes today's ACEC New York webinar. Thank you for attending.
The moderator has ended the conference. Goodbye. Thank you for calling.